It's time to jam to Guilty Gear Strive music. You guys have been asking for this, so here we are. But first, special thanks to my Foxes, Keepers, Fox Guardians, and Super Fox Guardians here on YouTube. Y'all are the reason I can cover games like this and release new podcast videos every week. Now let's get going with the opening theme. Oh. Starting off with the battles.
I know who I am. That moonlight lake told me this is who you are.
Oh.
For so long, my nails are shape of the night. That is me.
In other words, they're a monster. As in, like, monster strength.
That is bullshit blazing. Still my heart is blazing. If the word kill me, I don't need a new one under you. Soon you will know. We already know the smell of the game.
Somehow my brain is not computing on what the heck they're talking about. Like, I'm reading the subtitles, but then at the same time, or the lyrics, but my brain's just, what?
Do you know who you are when you think your words don't sound like your own? You're trapped in the toxic created by this world. That is who you are.
I guess this particular part, or earlier they talked about like, this is who you are, as in like they talked about the fangs and all of that stuff. And usually when you think of those types of things, you think of like power, strength, monster. So clearly all the people who are playable, obviously, are extremely powerful. And in some ways they kind of are monsters with their strength and position of power compared to like regular people. And here, the one thing I don't really understand is this blazing thing. But I assume like the New World Order is the thing that that man was trying to implement, or, you know, I guess Happy Chaos and that man, those two, the chaos and destruction that they implemented throughout the world obviously caused a lot of issues. And they probably don't want that kind of world. That's probably what they're talking about it. And then Know the Smell of the Game is obviously like the battles that they have to fight. And then when you speak your words, so I guess the don't sound like your own part is mostly talking more about like you're just regurgitating what you're hearing. I'm not really sure what that line is targeted towards in particular, but the you're trapped in a dark cell created by this world are probably most likely referring to the people who either had a tragic event happen to them due to gears, or they became a gear themselves, and that led them to a very dark space inside mentally. I guess in a way, the song is like about acceptance. Gravity. So the gravity keeping us on the ground is bullshit? It's definitely one of those songs that really pump you up, which is very fitting since it is a fighting game and you need motivation and passion to play these characters on a regular basis. That's a good clip to put in. got slapped.
What am I? What am I? What am I? What am I?
Good question.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beast.
And the beasts are the gears.
The lives of beasts and couldn't lie to themselves about it.
Or maybe they mean the people that fight. Everyone. Who?
Can't you see I'm blazing? Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new world after you. My time is my word. Your words will never make me disobey. That is bullshit.
Wait, so that's bullshit? I was gonna say, oh, this is very, what's the word, moving, especially since it feels a lot about like self-acceptance, and you will always have a place to belong somewhere in the world. It doesn't really mean that everyone will accept you, but you are blazing as you should. And that's kind of what the gist that I got, and then they say that is bullshit. I'm like, oh, so which is it?
I don't need a new world after you. Soon you will know. We already know the smell of the smell of the game.
Yep, I definitely like that song. It's very, 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 it like brings up the mood, and it really just makes you want to like fight. It definitely fits that kind of, and since this is the opening, it matches the mood and style of the game itself. Well, obviously, because, you know, as you guys have said, there's so many references, but in any case, I think they did a really good job. The lyrics itself is still a little bit confusing. I'm not really sure how to take it, or more along the lines of I'm not sure how to interpret it fully, but the instrumentals and the way that they're singing, it just brings up your mood and hypes you up to want to play, regardless of whether you know what the lyrics are talking about or not. I feel like that's the most important thing, is that it really does make you want to play because of how impressively, what's the word, energetic the song is. I think that's the best way to put it. But in any case, let's go to the next one. Find Your Way, One Way, Souls theme. This really fits him. I don't really know why, but it does.
Yes, nobody is gone. I'm just saying, step about it, do it our turn. So freak out, yes, nobody is wrong. You and I both just have a views, that's all.
That really fits him, because whenever I did see him in, like, for example, the, what was it? Guilty Gear Extra comic, and then also the Comic Digest, he very much wasn't like the type that enforced his own views onto, like, he wouldn't force it onto others. He just does his own thing, and then if someone has a different viewpoint, then he just accepts it and then moves on. As long as it doesn't really bother him, I don't think it really matters to him what kind of viewpoint you have. And he's very much straightforward in that sense. And I think that's really depicted already here from the very beginning. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly.
Give me my place back, I won't take your special place. Still, the world is not so tight right.
Exactly what I said.
Strike back, get them out of your way. You don't care if along the Get them out of your way. Don't melt in the world, find your way.
And even up to that point, he very much is like, I do what you want, or I do what I want, and you can do what you want, but if it clashes, then we fight. And he's so straightforward that I highly doubt there's anything in the song that will make me surprised to see, because of how straightforward he is. And that's like the good part about him, is that he's not so complicated that you'd be like, oh, what is he gonna do next? Nah, he's very straightforward. Whenever something needs to get done, he'll just use his strength just to get done. Brute force things, that's what he does. But he knows that he's strong enough to do that. That's the difference.
Nobody will miss it. I just say I'm the step that body do it out of turn. Say it back down, cause nobody denies it. You and I both just have our views, that's all. You are not me.
Yep.
Not alone. You are not my downfall either. If your voices will fill the sky, I'll take the wasteland, but I won't be alone, never. Slide back, get them out of your way. Don't care if along the way's a little sacrifice.
Yep. So far, there hasn't been any line that really like surprised me to see, because he's really straightforward. And no matter what I see him do, whether it's in the supplementary material or not, he's very consistent. And that's what I like about that. The consistency is such a beautiful thing to see. Also, if you're enjoying this so far, then be sure to hit the like and subscribe and comment down below. And share my video with a friend to spread the fun.
Go and step it body, let's go and step it body, step it body, step it body. Strike back, get them out of your way.
I think my favorite part, I think it's coming up.
Strike back, get them out of your way. Listen to your heart, let the voice in your head.
Oh my gosh, actually, no, I was surprised by one line. So this particular part,
Get them out of your way.
listen to your heart and not the voice in your head. I think that's very much on point, especially when he is interacting with Kai in the beginning, because Kai was very much like listening to the voice in your head more so than the heart. And although like he does eventually listen to his heart, especially when it comes to Dizzy and his son, but like he always approached Kai in a way where not only were they rivals, but I do think he always tries to convince him to listen more to his heart instead of like the things around him, and which includes the voice in his head. Because obviously, logically, he would want to follow the law and everything in Kai's case. But Solo doesn't really like that, which is why he's able to get stuff done faster than what people trying to get done but take forever because of all these laws and rules and all that stuff. You know, it makes me kind of wonder, like, you know, a person like Solo taking charge and making sure things are fine wouldn't be too bad. Although he is the one that created some weapons and participated in some questionable projects, but still, it's a little bit better than, you know, having so many things restrict and then prevent things from actually moving forward, in a sense, you know?
Get them out of your way. If along the way's a little sacrifice. Strike back, get them out of your way. Don't melt in the world, find your way.
Ooh, okay, so now we have Kai's theme, the roar of the spark. And that spark is the thing that he like shoots out there, right? That's like yellow, reddish thingy, I believe. Also, if you are interested, you can get early and full access to all of my content here on YouTube by joining my squad. if you're interested. Now let's see what this one's gonna be like. Yeah, that thing. Ooh, this beginning instrumentals is too good.
Through the darkest sky, roll before the light, like a crying for the moon. Never-ending round, forgot what I want. Never felt my heart beat. That's why I go forward, don't look back. I can't believe in the path I'm on. Fate, pride, so what do I have to be? Under the sacred wires, never stop, just go. I don't care how many more gotta get.
Oh, this really does fit him.
I'm going out for eyes again. I hope my path will be. I can't wait for someone to follow.
That definitely fits the story that I have learned of him so far. The fact that he says through the darkest sky, so groping for the light, that reminds me of, I think it was shown in Guilty Gear Extra manga actually, where he was younger and I think it was after his mom died or got killed by a gear, so he wanted to join basically the military, or what was it called? The Knights, to also fight against the gear. And I think at that point he was really looking for some kind of light to happen. And it wasn't until, what was his name? The one that was Testament's adoptive dad. I think it was only because of him that he kind of had a direction to follow.
Like a crying.
Which is why Crying for the Moon, because when he was young, he obviously, he was like traumatized to a point where he couldn't, I don't think he could like actually cry, but I do think his actions and his behavior at the time is like crying for the moon.
Never-ending round, forgot.
And so because he trained so hard to be able to join and grow up to join that, I feel like he forgot about his initial purpose and, you know, desires in life. And that's why it felt like a never-ending black, until he probably realized that Soul was a gear in the Comic Digest, and also when he met Dizzy for the first time. So before it was just like going through emotions, but he eventually realized, oh, this is the path I need to go on. And now he's one of the kings and knows what he has to do. And he's definitely the type who just sacrifices himself without much thought, because he believes in what he does.
I hope my path will be. I can't wait for someone to follow.
I think that a guide of light for someone to follow is most likely indicating people like Dizzy, who doesn't actually like want to destroy humanity, but just wants to live in peace. It very much pushes forth the idea that he is a true king now.
The thunder burns my eyes. What a strange descent. Sound becomes hard again. Never-ending wide. Forgot what I want. Is this Arcadia? I don't know what's right.
Okay, so this particular section is about most likely his troubles on not knowing if he's actually doing the right thing. I remember you guys mentioning that he obviously became king not out of his own will, but because they forced him. But I think at the time he also didn't really know how to go about, especially since he has a family now, especially his wife is a gear, and then his son is half gear, and obviously that's going to cause problems in their peaceful life. And now that he's king too, that doesn't make it any better. So I do think that this particular part is his internal conflict on what he should do next to make sure that he's doing not only the right thing for the entire world, but for those that are close to him too. And this was probably before he reunited with Sin. And this is after he reunited with Sin at this point. He has nothing to lose now.
I don't care how many more stars again. Here in the pale fire, I'm going as far as I can. I hope my path will be. I gotta light it for us.
The good thing about him is that he's not so egoistic. And that's why he's able to have empathy for even a gear. And do what's best for them too. Although he was obviously very stubborn back in the day, but still. He has changed a lot. Gosh, I really liked his instrumental. Did not expect that. The struggles of being a king, huh? It's interesting that now he's talking about under the lonely moon. I think before it was, let's see, it was, I think right here. Oh, like crying for the moon. So instead of crying for the moon now, it's just lonely because now he has to do it on his own because it's not like everyone's gonna be, I suppose, supportive of what he's pushing for. And obviously as king, you have to encounter a lot of, like, for example, reports or people's words trying to manipulate you or trying to sway you in every way. But I like the fact that he's steadfast with what he wants, and now that he knows what he wants and goes for, which is why it's an explosion with his colors. Oh, I love that. Especially with this line, hoping to fill the world with all kinds of light. That definitely fits with the type of person and king he is on his goal to make sure everyone is equal and not treated with discrimination and all of that. It really showed like it encompassed the entirety of his journey and development as a character. And the way that they ended it shows that he is truly, like, has finally reached the point where he knows and is no longer faltering from anything as king and as a person too. He's no longer the naive and stubborn boy that he was a long time ago. Which kind of makes me tear up. Because character development, yeah! In any case, be sure to click on the playlist right here on the screen if you want to see more videos like this one. And if you want me to react to more Guilty Gear OST as soon as possible, then I do recommend going to my sponsor so that you can contribute and make sure it goes on the top of the queue. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!